All right, well, give it off the top of my head here. What I'll say is this is certainly an important issue that we face before the city. First of all, what I'd like to say is process and procedure is incredibly important. As this thing started, certainly we worked hard to, as other council members have said, this is not a brand new issue that has come before this council. When we were running in the last election, it was there. Even before that election, actually, conversation was held regarding this topic. We've had a series of procedural and process blunders along the way. One of the things I like about what we did tonight is Mayor, we moved this towards the front of the meeting so that people could see that what we were talking about. A couple of meetings back when this first came up, it was kind of late at night. And then we had the debacle with our charter commission meeting. Then it actually failed in the charter commission meeting. And there was certainly some confusion about this, process and how you get things across, has a part of integrity and how we're seen as an institution. Unfortunately, I even thought today we had a public hearing. And so if there's some folks that are there and you think that they believe that they'll be able to address the council and be able to address their fellow council members to make one last pitch, they're not able to do that. And that creates a situation where folks genuinely are concerned not about really the choice. They start looking at our process. And that's one of the things that I'm fairly concerned about. And one of the things that I'm concerned about as we move towards the November election is, will that taint the process? Will we get a fair vote? Or will we have some folks who will simply say to themselves, I can't support this because of the process? And I just think that if there's anything that we can do kind of moving forward that we can learn from these circumstances and these situations is just that we are careful, that we make sure that the integrity of the process is followed. So that would be my first point. We had a commission meeting with the Charter Commission, and they voted, not everyone was there the first time, and certainly when more folks showed up, they voted no. Their recommendation to us was no, because they felt that, and certainly I certainly believe that those folks that are in that do not support this may have a legitimate claim that in August, when this question is finally put out there, there's very little time to organize against it. And then also in the middle of the pandemic, you can't go door to door, which is one of the cheapest ways in which for you to do that. On the other hand, folks argue that, you've known this was coming all along, but one could make the argument that you didn't know the specific question that you were disagreeing with. Those two things, as a person who wants to have everyone's opinions and points of views, be able to have the free rate, certainly are things that weigh on me. On the other hand of the question is the timing. If we do not vote on this November, realistically, the next most plausible time to make sure that we're going to have another turnout for this will probably be in 4 years. There's been a tremendous amount of work that's been put into this by the group that's advocating for this. And so if we were to delay that vote for 4 years to take that vote, that would also be a travesty. So I look at both these things, and I think that what it all spins down to me is that, we have got to, in my opinion, as a council member, we need to do a better job of how we handle and how we move these things through that are controversial, to be sure that we ensure that those folks that are in the majority or those folks that may have the prevailing position and those folks that have the non-prevailing position feel that their ability to be able to discourse amongst our council is upheld. It's tricky for me because I do believe that if we were to pass this and the residents of Bloomington were to pass this, that this would be beneficial to me. And so that's problematic for me in terms of trying to support this understanding that. But knowing that this is going forward and having the residents of Bloomington to be able to decide what they want to do, I think that you need to keep all of those things in mind as you're looking at this decision around ranked choice voting. Certainly, I've got my opinions about this process and how we followed it, and what's happened and taken place here. And I think you've got to decide what you think is right and what you believe is right. If this is the right process by which that you want to support things coming through our council, or something else. Certainly, there's merit here with looking at ranked choice voting. Certainly, there are some concerns about those folks who, when the voting comes up in terms of pluralities and those types of things. But certainly, I'm looking forward to having those discussions if we were to pass this and the voters of Bloomington were to put this through the pass. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to taking the vote and moving on to the next stage of this process.